Hey guys, so one of the occupants of the old Japanese farmhouse has a need for a desk. So I seemed to remember that in the back corner of this big old room was a desk that we put there about 12 years ago and piled some old stuff on top of it. So I couldn't really remember what sort of condition it was in, whether it was something that we could use to fulfill this need. So he needed to dig it out, pull all the stuff off it, and pull it out to get a better look at it. So there were a couple of old wooden desks when we moved in. One of them ended up in the other workshop. Oh, anybody recognise that decorative thing from the 70s? Plug it in the different coloured little lights. So it seemed pretty good. Reasonably good condition. The wood seemed to be pretty well preserved. Now, given the choice, the Unskilled furniture renovator would probably just stain this because that wood's not too bad. However, it's been requested that a white desk is required. So there was 20, 30 years of dust all over everything there, so blew it all off with the compressor and then used a wet cloth to wash the desk and all the drawers, get all the dust off. So it was in pretty good condition. There were a few bits there that were a bit dodgy. So the runners that the drawers slide in and out on, the nails that held them in place had actually rusted. So no idea how old this thing must be. So the runners were all dodgy, so they needed to be fixed. So I broke out the nail gun, probably the favourite tool ever. Oh yeah, and the drawer too. One drawer. All the rest of the drawers were pretty good. Just one drawer. Someone must have put something heavy in it. Love the sound of the nail gun. What a great tool. Ended up nailing all the runners. The ones that were broken and the ones that weren't broken as well, because figuring that if those nails are rusting, might as well put some new nails in all of them. Gee, that's a good tool. A brilliant tool, really is. Excellent. So, then got some sealer. So we've used this combination before. That sealer is pretty thin. It's like putting on milk. So it's not very exciting to use because it just ends up with a finish like that on it. But it does seem to do the job. We've used this stuff on walls and all sorts of things around the house internally. And it does seem to be a smart thing to do. It seals up the wood, and then when you do paint, it seems to take to it better. So sealed up the desk, sealed up the drawers. In preparation. Good preparation seems to be the key, doesn't it? The unskilled painter has not a lot of painting skills, but some things we've learned over the years. For example, good preparation. That cleaning's really important. That blowing the dust off and then washing it, cleaning it with a wet towel to get all the dust off. Because if you don't, and you come to use white paint on it, of course, it brings it out. So good sealer first, and then now doing the first coat of paint. That was another lesson learnt the hard way years ago. It's best to fight the temptation to put the paint on too thickly. Never makes a good result if you do that. If you can sort of do it, keep the paint as thin as possible and just wait till it dries and then do more coats, seems to get a better result. Because it's always tempting, particularly if you're going from a dark colour to a light colour, to try and lay it on a bit thick to try and hurry yourself to the white, but it doesn't come up with a good result, does it? Much better just to put on a thin coat, let it dry for a day, half a day, and then come put the next coat on top of it. Keep that pretty thin too. We ended up doing 3 coats, so the sealer plus 3 coats, just a little bit each time, thin layer each time. It seems to get the best result. And started by doing it upside down because it helps you get to all the bits you can't normally get to if it's the right way up. So did all the drawers and the desk first with the desk upside down, and then turned it up the right way. That seemed to get a good result. Fiddly things, the drawers, but got them done. Pretty good spot out there at the side of the house. It's got that covered area. It's sort of out of the weather, but as you can see, it's still open, so good ventilation. Get rid of the paint vapors. Pretty simple but clever design on those drawers. Little lips underneath the front of the drawer, so it doesn't need a handle. Just sort of put your fingers under the bottom of the drawer and catch the lip and pull it open. I'm going to give it to the old guy who owned the house before us. He usually either bought or made things of good quality. So many of the things that were left behind have been really quite useful to us. As some of you know, over the years, with lots of stuff that wasn't being used, that was just sort of in a corner somewhere, that we've taken and repurposed or renovated and made use of, which is a really good feeling. It's like the ultimate recycling, isn't it? Something that's just not of use and turn it into something useful. That was the second coat going on at night, as you can see. So I had to do these jobs. All these jobs get done between real work, you know, between going to work and coming home from work and going to sleep. In this case, there's the third coat going on, the final coat. So it would have been interesting to see what it would be like with a clear finish, because the wood was pretty nice on it. However, there's no demand for that, apparently. The demand is for white furniture and white rooms, apparently. So that's what the unskilled painter was told to do. Fix it and make it white. That was the mission. Interesting, there's a whole heap of different whites too, interestingly. That was perfect white, that particular white. So let's have a look at the before and after. Here's what it looked like when it was dragged out of the corner. And here's what it looks like now. So the customer is satisfied. Another member of the household took a look at it and said it was kawaii, it was cute, a cute desk, there's the thing. So see the rough finish on the right hand side of that wood there? I suspect it might have been homemade. He might have made it himself because he had a whole heap of milled timber you might have seen in previous projects. It's possible he made that because he did like the rough timbers that hadn't had the rough edges taken off them. So it's possible he made that. Anyway, the customer's satisfied. More videos coming soon.